I crashed once. I hope I don't crash again. Let's see. We're going to refresh this, and maybe I'm on already. Wah, 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 wah. And I'm on. I got the email, so I will turn to on Do Not Disturb. Morning, Scott. Okay. I'm going to close that down. Abercrombie or that. ZAPP. Let's go to scans. Boom, boom. Morning, Chris. Market scanner. ZAPP is going nuts. Crazy. Was up 50% yesterday. It's up again. I don't know. I didn't look at Seeking Alpha. Let's see. What's anything going on with ZAPP? Or is it just a short squeeze? It's just a short squeeze. Yeah, 28% short interest. I mean, there's no news whatsoever. It's just a short squeeze. I mean, 5 days, you're up 229%. Morning, Star. It's crazy. Let's go to the market scanner. I don't have to rush off today. I had to rush off yesterday only to have technical issues. No, I think it's good if you're going to sit there and watch a chart and you can trade on confirmation. Like there's so many times confirmation and you can just trade along the 8-day, along the 9-day, the 21-day, whatever you want to use, whatever line you want to use. And you can trade on it. But for me, I'm saying, yeah. I'd rather sit there with TrendSpider and do a 4-hour swing trade where I can set an alert for an entry and an exit than to sit there and kind of chase. And yeah, I tend to, I think we all evolve as we get older. I think in my 20s, I could trade a 1-minute stock chart. Now, mind you, in my 20s, that was the year 2000. So you didn't have a lot of this home information and ability to trade electronically. I mean, it was 2000. So, but kids today, man, you go out, you make, God, you save $500 a month. You throw it into the market, and you can have the time and patience to sit there and look at a 1-minute stock chart. I'd be happy as pie. Now, what is going on here, and why is there we go? I said it yesterday. We'd have an NVIDIA cross up, and we do, and it's an entry. Did you buy? Because it's up 1.44 today. I think we got to move that support level up. Brokerage holdings, let's see. Probably NVIDIA and Netflix as well. Boy, it's not working real fast today. I don't think it's my computer either. Let me go and turn on YouTube over here so I can see your chat a little bit better. Netflix and NVIDIA. There we go. And I do think I will go over why the title is Buy Amazon Under 200. But that is a rock solid strategy in my mind. Brokerage holdings, NVIDIA, and Netflix. Let's see. Bitcoin. Did we get another iBit cross up? I don't think so. But I don't know if we're going into a crashing down to 20,000 again. I don't think so, but 30-year fixed mortgage at 7%. Huh. 7 percentage points. Morning, Laurel. Am I seeing anything crazy? Morning, Patty. NVIDIA's up 1.4%. SMCI up 0.64. Not seeing anything crazy moving. Boeing at some point, I think Boeing has been trading sideways through super bad news. And you can see that the support line that I drew down here, the valuation at some point just becomes attractive because they have so much money in the pipeline. And if they start turning things around and start making actually 737s, they've got the planes on order. I mean, it's not like nobody's going to buy them. They just got to make them safe. I think United wanted to reduce their fleet, but I think you'll see people start to buy again. Why is this so slow? Do I have to log out? Let me log out, and we'll log back in. We'll go to the Bitcoin and crypto. That's what I was scanning for. Wah, wah, wah. It's a little slow as well. God, why am I so far behind on here? There we go. Let's go to live. I think it's the TrendSpider servers or just my account on scanning. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, nothing was found. Nothing in Bitcoin. Let's do covered call ETFs. Devo. I should say income ETFs. To Devo. Covered call. Energy names. Energy at some point becomes a buy. It becomes a buy. I have a note, Scott, in my thing. I worry about right now how fast we're going. ETFs, TMF, NVDL, SDAO. I worry about how weak the consumer seems to be and how high the market has gone. Low cost ETFs, VIG, VNQ, VB, VO, RSP. RSP. Hey, listen, I mean, good news is the equal weighted ETF, S&P 500 ETF, just got an entry. So maybe the market's starting to broaden out a little bit. I mean, that would be a good thing. ZAPP's saying yes. ZAPP on my A+ strategy has made you 95% in 2 trades. So, and my belief is, again, I hate the exit on this, but my belief is you could easily make 200% with that A+ strategy, just the entry. If you take out you just use a scanner and say, when should I enter? And you set up an alert. That's what I would do. Yeah. Okay. Good. It's not me. I trust that they will put things in. I'm going to start it out, by the way, today. There's a lot. I mean, if you're into specific stocks and charts, today's the day. Today's your show. because I got a lot of things like Apple, Amazon we're going to look at, because Jeff Bezos has sworn he will only sell Amazon over $200. So the second that stock goes over $200, you're getting billions of dollars of sales, which pushes it back down below 200. We don't know how much he's selling. I don't think he's made public how much he's selling. But the second he stops selling and that run up to 200 happens again, you're going to 250. It's the same as Dell. You know, Michael Dell stops throwing up buy orders or sell orders. It's going to cost a fortune. Okay. Spider sectors, XLI, BRK, XLB. You know what? It's funny because I think TrendSpider, I have had a great 2 months in TrendSpider. I wonder if just too many people are logging in. I didn't look at honest to God, Scott, I don't look at getting out of the SMCI. I think the valuation keeps you in SMCI. I mean, I've said before it was trading at that sideways level. I think it's ready to go. I like it. I'm not getting rid of it because the 4-hour gets me out. I will get rid of it on like weakness, super weakness, but mRNA. Okay, and we're going to go to the Dow. I don't know that the Dow has anything that really... Ooh, we do have the Dow. Shit. More than 10% of the Dow. Visa, VZ, Verizon, and Procter & Gamble. And NASDAQ. There we go. We're moving now. IDXX, Cintas, Netflix, Dash, and Fastenal, which reports later. I don't own half the company. No, I honest to God, my guess is, and this is just a guess, I have 150 total in there. I sold out of a bunch. I sold out of a bunch. But yeah, we'll go back to the strategy tester and let's look at Okay. RSP, see 163, how we've traded sideways on this I mean, this is an equal weighted S&P ETF. So it's what you want to look at to see, we're going up, but this one's going down. So the market's going up and it's being driven. I think the note that I have, which is interesting, is the note from Goldman Sachs yesterday. The S&P returned 15% in the first half. If you take out NVIDIA, that drops to 10%. If you strip out the entire Mag 7, that drops to 6%. Viewed one way, that's a very top-heavy market. Viewed another way, plus 6% in 6 months isn't a perfectly acceptable return. In fact, it annualizes the average long-term return of the S&P. And my next note is long-term, you guys will hear this again, long-term, there might be a slowing of the economy and an expected increase in earnings that might make for a good pullback here in July. If a company misses or guides lower, expect them to get killed. Killed. If they've had a run-up and they miss slightly and then guide lower, expect at least a 10% pullback if it's one of those high flyers. So let's look at RSP seasonality. That's only 2021. Oh, come on. Let's go back to 2005 with the IPO. We're heading into some, 30th week, end of July. So, Okay. The Qs, and then I'm going to open up. Morning, John. Good morning. What's up? We're going to open up. First link is ARM Holdings. This was a social request. My apologies, by the way. Spotify told me, and I guess I must be G-Way. Okay. I must be a big enough deal that these guys kind of, like what I'm doing.
The MACD is a standard indicator most traders are familiar with, but
let's see. This is a great video. That's in the education portion. BAC, we're going to Bank of America got an upgrade. We've got ANF or NVDA. Which would you want to actually own over the last year? Because this video was really good as well. Oh, come on. Video will play after the ad. We got to wait 15 seconds. I am not paying for YouTube Premium. But this video was really good. I wonder if it's going to continue to show ads. No. Upbeat music narrator. Do, 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 do. I think they have a nice title screen. Do, 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 do. Okay. We'll include that one. Apple is in the news, and that's a douchey article. I will point out. I will go on my old man rant. Intel, Apple, AMD could start catching up. Amazon. This is the reason you buy Amazon is because Jeff Bezos is selling everything. NVIDIA and chips still have catalysts. That's good news. Supermicro could still generate high long-term returns. We'll go over that one. GLW, I wanted to look at, let me see. Seeking Alpha. There we go. And let's look at GLW. This is Dow Corning. I guess it's just called Corning now. We'll do this. We'll include this article. Because we'll include that one. We'll include ZAPP. We're going to do... this is a great, if you're interested in ZAPP, morning Rollins, if you're interested in ZAPP, this was a great Ross video where he goes over ZAPP and how he found it. Biggest movers of the day, today, highs from yesterday, and we're going to go over BXC. I'll go to a live chart, but I'll include this chart. Okay. Let me go in Twitter. I'm gonna toot my own horn here, cause I got. Listen. I'm huge on Spotify. I know I'm big on Spotify, but their comment section yesterday, by the way, that's where I was going. Their comment section was down for maintenance, they told me. So nobody could comment on the video. But it is what it is. I got an email from Apple yesterday. I guess my podcast in the U.S. ranked 228th in investing. So it's growing. It's growing. Okay, I got everything that I want to do. If you're new here, I go over all these stocks. We'll get to ZAPP. We'll get to NVIDIA. We'll get to Amazon. We'll get to Apple. I just opened everything up. What I do is I hop on about 8:30 in the morning. I do scans. So I find you stocks that are bullish. In fact, I got to open up my newsletter. I publish it free every day. dailystockpick.substack.com. You can get that at the newsletter. Anything that you want, it's in the link tree. The link, you can see the link down below, linktr.ee/dailystockpick. You got TrendSpider, you got Seeking Alpha Premium, you got Alpha Picks, you got Webull. I love Webull. And this fifth link is the newsletter. So you can follow all my trades on Savvy Trader if you would like. Savvy Trader, I think I'm still top 3 in Savvy Trader, but this is the core portfolio. And if you click that link, you get the core portfolio, and it's free. You don't have to pay for it. My trading portfolio is paid for, but this core portfolio, it's 35 names. And if you want to see, it's 100 shares of 35 names. It's not a practical, Larry, it's not a practical portfolio because obviously you want to buy more of one and less of another. But this shows you how easy it is to manage a portfolio like this. Again, the Daily Stock Pick Core portfolio, year to date, it's up 36%. It's 100 shares. I sold 900 shares of NVIDIA when it split. It's up from there. I sold 900 shares. The day it split, I sold 900 shares. I took some profits. Now, this portfolio is $1.07 million, so a lot of people may not have $1.7 million. And if you don't want to invest, but you can take it, and you can take these names, and you can look at it. Again, it's up 37%. The NASDAQ, which has been the outperformer, is up 21%. You almost double the NASDAQ in 6 months. So, and that's fantastic. Now, if you want to discover portfolios, let's just go and look at the top portfolios. Daily Stock Pick trading portfolio is up 61%. 61%. Now, this dude at 199, I don't know what he's got in his portfolio. I know what I got in my portfolio, but Hamid here, who is the founder and the CEO of Savvy Trader and Earnings Hub, he's up 32%. So I will be on Spaces tomorrow. I will be gloating. Hamid, I doubled. I doubled you, mofo. I doubled you. But no, we don't do stuff like that. But again, the core portfolio is just, it is what it is. That's just kind of justification for I'm not a shill just on the internet and pointing stuff out that's nilly-willy. You can see the total distribution. Ironically, Lily is up 69%. And it's just what I do with this portfolio is when I add names, I add 100 shares. When I take out names, I sell 100 shares. It's very simple. I would never manage a portfolio this way, but I do that. And you can see the quantity is just 100 on everything. I don't reinvest dividends. I take it as cash. Every mistake that you can make on this portfolio, I make. But I've created a portfolio of 35 names that makes 37%. Yes, a lot of it is the Magnificent Seven, the Great Eight, whatever you want to call it. But freaking Lily is up as well. Total return, 69%. 69%. Hell, Costco. It's not one of the Great Eight. It's up 69%. It's not one of the Great Eight. VOO, up 26%. 26% since I bought it. Again, when you add these things, it's important the timing. QQQ, I'm up 22% on that, even though the Qs are up. NASDAQ is up 22%, so it is what it is. Goldman Sachs, 40%. Palo Alto, not one of the Grade 8, up 40% since I got it. Qualcomm, up 73%, not one of the Grade 8. Let's see, XLY, 13%. Taiwan Semi, not one of the Grade 8, up 79%. Boeing's down 12%. Pepsi's down 12%. Simon Property Group, not one of the Grade 8, up 31% since I got it. Exxon, up 9% since I got it. Again, there's very few names. Roblox, I would argue Roblox is in there only because, and by the way, Roblox, Let me put that in. Because Roblox hit 40. Hit 40. We'll go over that. So, okay, I'll keep that up. Because why not? We'll go over that. We'll tout our performance here. Okay, I'm going to hit record. So if you guys are here, enjoy the ride. Let me just scroll up to the top. Okay. Wada. 2 days in a row, we're starting it with Wada. Wada. It's Tuesday, July 9th. Throwing it back 80 style there. You got a good 5-day win streak on the Qs. I mean, the market is completely in a bull market. You can't argue. Look at how far the Qs are above that 9-day. So, hey, your boy told you we were in a bull market. You're in a bull market until we're not. And I'll go over some things today. We'll go over ZAPP, which is crazy. We'll go over an alpha pick sell, which came out. I'll go over the exact stock, how much they made, blah, blah, blah. Highs from yesterday, biggest movers. We'll go over how my 5-minute algo has made you a tremendous amount of money in ZAPP. We'll go over Corning. We'll go over SMCI, NVIDIA, Amazon, a play for Amazon, Apple, Abercrombie or NVIDIA. Which one would you want? Roblox filled the gap at 40, Bank of America, and then some educational stuff. I want to start out with a thank you to every listener. I got an email from Apple yesterday. I guess I'm now the 228th. This includes things like CNBC, Motley Fool, and Seeking Alpha. I'm more popular, I think, than Seeking Alpha is. I'm number 228 in Apple. Now, mind you, that's just Apple. Only 20% of my listeners are on Apple. So 80% of them are on Spotify. So Spotify said I'm top 50. So I'm doing something right. But that's because you listen. And I thank you for listening. I really, really do appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you for showing up. Everything for me. Now, we're going to go over this. Now, Alpha Picks is a portfolio that I am an affiliate of. And you can sign up for. Here at Linktree, linktr.ee/dailystockpick, it's the third link. And if you want to beat the S&P, I think this is one of the best portfolios you can get. It's 122% versus the S&P at 35%. Okay? It's data-driven names. What they do is on the 1st and the 15th of each month, you sign up and you get a pick on the 1st and the 15th. The key point is they tell you when to sell. And that's what I want to go over right now, is they tell you when to sell. And it is the symbol. They just sent this out a couple of days ago, BXC, Blue Links Holdings. They gave I will post in the newsletter. And again, the newsletter is free. I don't think they'll mind me saying this. But BXC is a sell, and they gave 5 reasons. And they give you reasons why to buy and sell. And the reason I am a big fan of this is they have a proven record in their portfolio. There have been 7 stocks that they've either trimmed or completely exited this year, including they trimmed SMCI for a 968% gain. They trimmed it. They did not get rid of it. It became too large in the portfolio, so they said, you know what? We want to trim it. They timed it perfectly. They exited 5, and 5 of the 7 all had positive gains. This is one of them. This was up 20%. This was up 20% since they bought it. You can see, and I'll post this chart. You can do the calculation yourself. They bought it in July of 2022. They sold it here in July of 2024, 20%. Are they selling at a bad time? Probably. I would look at that chart. Remember, this is a fundamental portfolio. It is not based on charts. They use charts a little bit to try and gain it against other stocks, but that's when they pick it. When they sell it, it has lost some of its fundamental story. And that's the difference between a lot of the people that look at charts and fundamentals. This is 100% a fundamental story on these alpha picks. So you can subscribe to this. My link saves you $50. The other thing you can do is go to Linktree. And there's a Savvy Trader. Follow my trades. It gets you to the free daily stock pick core portfolio. This is 35 names. 100 shares of each. I would never tell you to manage a portfolio like this. But somebody said, hey, I was trading small cap stocks and I lost myself. And we'll get to some of that stuff. It was in the private Facebook group. These are 35 names that I think you can safely trade and not lose your shirt on. It may not be 30% in a day. It may not be 50% in a day like some of these movers like ZAPP. But it most likely will make you money. How good is this portfolio? Over year to date, it's up 36% versus the NASDAQ at 21%. We've almost doubled. And it's just I sold 900 shares of NVIDIA. When it split 10 for 1, I sold 900 shares. Would I ever do that in a real portfolio? Hell no. It's still in a bullish trend. So I would never sell it, but I did. I sold 900, so it just keeps it at 100 shares. I wouldn't manage the portfolio, but there are tons and tons of examples. I want to go over a note from Goldman Sachs yesterday specifically for this. The note said the S&P returned 15% in the first half of the year. If you take out NVIDIA, that drops to 10%. If you strip out the entire Magnificent Seven, that drops to 6%. Viewed one way, that's a very top-heavy market. Viewed another way, plus 6% in the market in 6 months is a perfectly acceptable return. In fact, it annualizes to the average long-term of the S&P. So we're having an average year outside of those top 7. Yes, I have those top 7 in this portfolio. But I also have something like LICY, which is up 69%. I also have something like SMCI, which is up 188%. I also have something like Costco, which is 69% up. I also have something like Goldman Sachs, which is 40% up. I also have something like Palo Alto Networks, which is up 40%. So you can see there are tons of other names. It's 35 names. It's not just the Magnificent Seven. But you can take your pick. You can sign up for Alpha Picks through the link tree. And you can enjoy the $50 off. I love Alpha Picks. And the reason I like it is if you don't want to do the research, you don't have to. It's hand-fed to you. And so I think if that's the case and you want that, I think it's a great, great tool for you. And again, my link saves you $50. And again, BXC, I'll post it in the free newsletter about exactly why they sold it. So with that thing, I want to look at, here's 52-week highs at some point yesterday. This is huge. This is huge. I mean, these are the highs from yesterday. I will tell you, long-term, and we went over macro yesterday on Spaces. I will be on Spaces tomorrow at 2 p.m. with Wolf. So follow me on Twitter if you want to join that and you want me to listen. Brandon said everybody sounded boring as F. So, yeah, they boring as F. It is what it is, but, you know, hey, I don't sound boring. I'll be the same kind of person. Long term, there might be a slowing economy. We've talked about how the consumer is a little bit stretched. If you're feeling stretched, you're probably not alone. And again, if the consumer is stretched and not spending as much, that's going to slow the economy. I think that heading into earnings, again, bank earnings are Friday. We have Pepsi on Thursday. There are a couple of companies out there next week that we can look at a later date, but I don't want to jump ahead. But again, if any company that has run up, and this is the danger in your portfolio, if you have a company that is reporting and they report even a slight miss or they guide slightly lower, I think it's going to get killed. Just simple as that. You know, take a look at these stocks. We can look at a couple. I'm going to look at a couple as we go. These are the biggest movers of today. Biggest movers, Chimera Therapeutics, surged 10%. Intel is up. Has Intel found a bottom? I don't think Intel is a good investment. And I trimmed half my Intel at 31. Am I happy about it? Pretty solid. I put the money into NVIDIA. So I trimmed half that position. I still am gaining in that. I bought at 40. Do I think it's getting back to 40? I don't know. There's a whole bunch of gaps up here. A whole bunch of gaps to fill. You've got the 50-day starting to move positive. But if I go over here and I go to Intel, and this is Seeking Alpha, and this is Seeking Alpha Premium, you can sign up for it again through the link tree. But this is how you look at this. You know, say you know nothing about valuation, you know nothing about growth, you know nothing about profitability. All of those grades are in Seeking Alpha Premium. So you take a look at this and you say, well, does the valuation make sense? No. The PE, crazy high. I mean, they're not, you look at that PE, it's crazy. You look at the PEG ratio, and yeah, they might have opportunities, but that's based on their forecast. They have missed forecasts several times. You go to the revisions, and it's 1 up, 35 down, 3 up, 38 down. Now, mind you, fortune favors the brave, so again, you can look at that. Their profitability is an A+. But when you look at this growth, they are losing 2%. They're declining 2% year over year. And again, if you think that NVIDIA and Intel are equal just because they make chips, hell no. Intel is so far behind NVIDIA. NVIDIA has a huge, huge moat. I wouldn't be upset getting out of Intel right now. Even though it's a big mover, I still think your money is better spent in NVIDIA because you can look at the valuation of NVIDIA. We'll look at that one in a little bit. ZAPP. This is an interesting one. So ZAPP is one that's up like 143%, whatever, but it went nuts. Ross here from Warrior Trading. This is a video, and I'll post the link in the newsletter. Watch the video. He shows you how he identified this pre-trade. This was Sunday night. He was sitting there, and he said, hey, this one looks like it's got short interest. It's trading above the VWAP. We've got some support. Yesterday, he even found that it was still trading above the VWAP. It had some support. This is how you trade stocks on momentum. Ross is not a fundamental. This is not a stock that you go and you buy and you just say, oh my God, it's going to go up. It's going up. No, he shows you. I didn't want to trade KOSS, which was another huge one. He shows you why he didn't want to trade. He shows you why he got into ZAPP. He shows you how he makes money. But he's not a fundamental trader. He's got a separate investment account that he actually trades on fundamentals. But this one, he purely trades on momentum. So I thought it was interesting. I thought it was great. If we go over and we look at ZAPP, and again, if you have a plan on this one, you can make money. If you don't have a plan and you're just nilly-willy looking at this, I think you're going to lose your shirt. This is a short squeeze. This is a classic short squeeze, 30% short interest, and it's going up. So again, it's going up. There's going to be a reverse split or something. I don't exactly know what's happening. But here, what I want to show you is if you have a plan, you can make money. Because what happened, if you look at this one, and we're going to go back, let's look at, we'll test 1,000 candles. How many does that get us back to? Let's see. Yeah, gets us back to, way back when. I don't like the exit in this one, but I think the entry on this 5-minute setup is absolutely stellar. And so when you look at this entry, you can see right here at 363 on July 5th, perfect. Now the exit got you out with 21%, but you left a lot on the table. Again, I would trade this one looking at candles. I would be looking at confirmation and loss of confirmation. I wouldn't necessarily trust the algorithm to get you out. It's on a 5-minute candle. If you're trusting a 5-minute candle with a bot, I think you got something wrong with you, especially on something like this because you're going to lose it. Right now, you're looking, we lost it. But the algorithm got you out with a 96%. Confirmation got you out with a 96%. I would not have taken another trade in this. Right now, you're not seeing any confirmation. There's nothing that tells me, you could have bought here at 12 and ridden it up to 15, 14. Yeah, and then gotten out because you don't have confirmation. Your MACD is crossing down. Your RSI is going down. Are we going to see a pop on this one? Probably at opening. We're at 9:15 right now, so you got about 15 minutes on this one. You might see an opening. I would not get into this without a plan, without some type of emotion taken out of this. I do like this A+ setup. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But understand you have to trade with a plan. You have to trade with a plan. That's what Ross kind of puts in place is you've got to trade with a plan. Now, let's talk, and I'll put that 5-minute setup in my in the newsletter so you can see the chart. If you want the 5-minute setup, if you want the 4-hour algorithm, if you want anything, go to the link tree and you simply click on that top link. It will take you to TrendSpider. TrendSpider, $50 a month. Again, 96% run on ZAPP in that 5-minute algorithm. That, you put in, $200 into ZAPP, you paid for TrendSpider for the month. That's it. Again, you put $1,000 into ZAPP, you paid for TrendSpider for the year. You get 6 months for free with my link. The most popular one here, Enhance, it's $100. Take a look at the access that you get and just take a look and see what you want. Again, there's a lot of tools in TrendSpider that you can use. Now, let's talk about Corning. Corning pops as it lifts Q2 sales. I was watching Josh Brown yesterday on midday, and he was on the phone, and it was a pick that he picked in May. And he thinks it's going back to its 2021 highs. We'll look at the chart. It was a clear pick. He basically said in May, and I remember, I think I may have included this, but I may not have. I was not 100% in on his thought process here. I was 100% that it made sense, but I said, you know what? I'm not going to take the trade. And essentially what he did was he said, they're going to build data centers. What are they going to need? They're going to need fiber. They're going to need glass. And he said in May, you should buy this one. And it was up here. And around the beginning of May, it was around 33. I didn't believe him. But let's take a look at the weekly because he says it's going to get to these 2021 highs. That's $46. You still have money left in this one, $46. It's going to trade up there. Is the valuation worth it? We can go to Seeking Alpha and we can take a look. In the quant, it is a strong buy. The valuation, a little bit stretched, but remember, if they report earnings and they report the craziness that's currently going on, then you're going to see this one pop. And so far the peg is 1.59. The revisions B+, momentum A-. Their growth C-, but they just came out and they said they upped their guidance. Revenue growth year over year down 9%. This could be the start of what they turn around and they get back to their highs. Now, when's their earnings? Let's take a look. Their earnings are coming out July 29th. So between now and then, I think you hit this high up here at 46. It's a stock. They just crossed the 200-day. Usually the 200-day, you can see it. It hovered right around this 200-day. It blew right past it. Your 50-day on the weekly is positive. Are you a little bit stretched? Absolutely. Do you have some support here? Probably at about 40. You can see it popping right here. It's hitting this top. Do we have a double top here? I think you're going higher. Honestly, I just think you're going higher on this one. If it's an AI story, what you're going to see, and Josh pointed this out, he said, you know what? You're going to see a bunch of ETFs and a bunch of strategies start to say that Corning is part of an AI play, and this is just going to go. He doesn't think it's going to be a super micro like that was last year, but he does think it's going to be a good play on this one, and it's got more room to go. So Corning, we can look at the Wall Street analyst, and they probably have upped their price target. It's $40. They probably upped their price target. We can go, to Fin. If you want, go to FinViz and look, see if anybody upped their price target. Super micro could still generate long-term gains. Super micro is a buy. I mean, this one, we'll go and look at the stock chart, but it's a strong buy in the quant. Profitability is a D, and the margins are coming into question. But that article that I just showed you has argued that they still have room to grow. Are they going to grow 100% again? Is this one going to, $1,700? Probably not. Is it going to $1,200? Probably. When you look at Wall Street, the average price target is $1,032. That's a 14% upside from where you're trading today. We can go and take a look at the chart. SMCI right here, it's at 908. It's up 1%. This one is trading sideways. I've said it on the weekly there. You saw it, just a snapshot, but it's trading sideways on the weekly. You got an entry here at $918. The algorithm got you out with a 6.54% gain. It gets you back in for $918. Now, say you say, well, Gary, if you bought this 2 years ago, you made 2,170%. Your algorithm only makes you 751%. My algorithm makes you 751%. Glass half full, glass half empty. If you want some safety and you want to sleep at night, 751%. Don't argue with me. That's a good freaking algorithm. Yes, it makes you 2,000%. I can sleep at night holding this name. If you can't sleep at night holding a name like this that is going to lose you 40% in a potential downturn, then don't get my algorithm, because it will get you out at the appropriate time. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to make money, but back tested. This one over 24 months, 25 positions. So once a month, your average win 36%. You can see this one, 182% gain. It got you in. When it pulled back, did it get you out? No. When it pulled back, did it get you out here? No, because it knew that you had more room to go higher. That's just it. So Super Micro, you can take a look at that one. Now, Stephanie Link on her last call, her final trade yesterday, I just wanted to bring this up. She brought up Elan. Elanco Animal Health. This was a veterinarian who listens to me, asked about this one in the social request. And I said, hey, it's got some weakness in it, but see what you can, see how it's going to pull back. It pulled back to the gap. Now, is it going to fill this gap? It's already filled. You got a gap up here, though, between 16 and 18. So Elan is one that you may want to look at. Again, if you're a veterinarian and Elan is providing you a bunch of stuff, this may be a buy. The Wall Street, the valuation is a C. You can take a look at it. The PEG ratio is not too high, so it's growing pretty well. When you look at Wall Street, their average price target is $19. It's 38%. Stephanie Link said it's just, her words were, it's my final trade because it's undervalued. Stephanie Link is a value trader. That's interesting for me to see and to hear. NVIDIA, Micron, others in focus. As the chips still have catalysts. NVIDIA is up 1.6% in the pre-market. Micron is up 0.7. Micron was down yesterday when all the other chips were up. I've said that Micron has some stuff. AMD, I own AMD. I think you're going back to 190 on that one. That one was up 3% yesterday. Taiwan Semi is the one that, hey, if you want to just buy the person that's making the chips, you can buy that one. Intel was up 6% yesterday. That's the one that I think you're just chasing dead money. But again, the chips have some room to run. Amazon, we can look at this one. ZA from that Superman ZA. I think that was the leader of Superman's world. After reading the specifics of Bezos' sale plan, it looks like he isn't selling any shares under 200. Basically, every tick over 200 will need to see buyers to match Bezos selling until he's done. Once that lid comes off, the move will be explosive. Again, 250. If what you're seeing right now, it's at 199.69. And you're seeing this, you're going to see it go sideways, and you're going to see Jeff Bezos sell. And if we go over here to FinViz and we look, you're going to see a whole bunch of Jeff Bezos sales, and he's selling at 200. Now he was selling at he sold at 200.08 and then at 200 on July 3rd. He's probably going to continue to sell, and those forms came out on the 5th. So you haven't seen the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. You still haven't seen this. Again, today is July 9th. Amazon has been stuck at 200. So your trading range is under 200. If you want to get into Amazon, there is no reason not to buy under 200. Now, Amazon on the quant, if we go and look at this one, I would argue it is one of the Magnificent Seven that has not, the average price target is 219 on Wall Street. That's a 10% upgrade. The quant says a hold. And the only thing that's not an A is the valuation. And I would argue they will kill it. Again, Prime Day is coming up next week. I think Amazon is in the driver's seat for a lot of this AI stuff. When you use Meta's AI, you're using Amazon Cloud. I think this one is going to be a winner, and I agree with ZA. Anything under 200, load up. Apple, AMD, and Intel could start catching up with AI winners in H2. I agree with Apple and AMD. AMD is a little bit more expensive. I'd still rather go into NVIDIA. But Intel, I've lost on Intel. I lost, faith in them. I'd rather see you wait on Intel until 35. It's trading right now at 34.98, I guess. I mean, it makes sense if you want to trade the bounce on that one, but they still have a catalyst here. This article about Apple in Spotlight is Piper Sandler ups the price target. Ooh, he upped the price target to 200. He went from 190 to 225. Douchebag, it's trading at 228. Douchebag, it's trading at 228. And he just ups his price target today from 190 to 225. Douchebag analyst. Again, I'm not arguing that Apple deserves this price. I think it's crazy. I think it's hype. The valuation is an F. The growth is a D. Apple has to show that this valuation makes sense. They are buying back a ton of stock. Their stock absolutely gets diluted in the right direction. You as a shareholder, as you hold this, actually make more money when they buy back the shares. Their growth, though, again, look at the revenues, down 0.9%. When that starts going positive, it's $250 stock. As simple as that. And I've said it before, I'm not adding to Apple at this price. In fact, when it starts to show weakness, I'm trimming it. I'm not selling out of this one. This is one that I will always have. It's what, 50, 60% of my portfolio? I haven't even looked lately, but it's a huge amount of my portfolio. You have confirmation. You're above that 9-day. The 50 days moving positive. You had this golden cross. Say you just traded the golden cross. The golden cross happened at 189. You could have made like $40 in gain right there if you just traded the golden cross on this one. So, it's a bit extended. Do I think it could go higher? Absolutely. I think it's $250 stock. Am I trading it? No. Now, I saw this YouTube video yesterday. Why Abercrombie stock exploded faster than NVIDIA's. This is a 101 on fundamentals. 101. If you can find a company that's trading and doing things like Abercrombie did over the last year, this is what you want to find. Why? And watch the video. Again, the video is going to be in the newsletter, so you can watch the link. But why do you want to find a fundamental like that? Because look, over 1 year, ANF, which is an alpha pick, by the way, and they've had it for quite a while. They've had it for this 1 year. ANF up 405% in 1 year. NVIDIA only up 200. And I say only, it's up 204%. But again, if you can find a company that is doing things right and doing things correctly like ANF, and it was clear as day with alpha picks. I went back and read their Abercrombie, their synopsis when they picked it. It was 100%. They're doing everything right. And then the street found out and boom, you're seeing it up 405%. So again, you want to take a look at that. Now, Bank of America got an upgrade. This is in the core portfolio as well. I think $40 is your absolute support. At this point, it's $40.88. But I think we've put enough straight line in there that I think $40 is your support level. Now, where are we going? Look at the weekly. This is up at $50. You're about to get a golden cross on the weekly. Old support turns to new resistance, and old resistance turns to new support. So you can see, I put it down there. I said you should be buying under 30. I was buying under 30. This was October of last year. It's not a huge, this isn't a major portion of my portfolio, but I believed in banks. And when I said they were under book value, I was adding to it. What's a name that's under book value that reports this week? Citigroup. Their expectations are a little high. Probably not my favorite name to actually play, but for long-term buy and hold, I think you're fine with Citigroup. They're turning things around. $66, $64 is where you're trading. It's a $99 book value. So Bank of America, it's an upgrade. They upped the price target. He expects Q2 to fall, blah, blah, blah. Overweight and JP Morgan, they upped the price target to 42. That's a nice 5% from where you're at now. I mean, again, it's not super exciting when you have 40% gains or, even something like, Roblox. We can talk about Roblox. This is in the core portfolio, and I went over this a little bit. Roblox is in the core portfolio because it constantly trades to $40. And where did we have a gap? We had a gap to $40, $38.95. That reaction was an overreaction. Algorithm got you in at $32. Did you take the trade? I'm not a player of Roblox. It's not in my my wheelhouse, but I did the analysis and I said, you're in this trading range. Where are we going again? We're probably going up to 46. I mean, that trading range is super, it's there. The trading range is there. We dipped down to the bottom here of $30 and you got up here. When the 4-hour algorithm said to get in, it was clear we were going to fill that gap. Did we have a bumpy way there? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, My algorithm is based on MACD. So as part of the education section, this is a MACD trading strategy of a market wizard. If you wanted to set this up as a strategy in TrendSpider and trade this wizard, again, she's an absolute wizard, you can do it. Watch this video. It's 18 minutes. They outline the entire strategy. They outline the entire strategy for you. You can build it in TrendSpider and you can trade on it. That's what's great about TrendSpider. You don't have to use my 4-hour algorithm. I think it back tests very well. But again, this is part of the education center. I try and provide in the newsletter. I try and provide everything from the charts, my thoughts on the market. I give you special offers. I include the links of everything. I tell you when I'm on Spaces, when I might be making appearances. I give you Seeking Alpha. I give you all the notes from my podcast that I do on this. You will get it every day for free. And then I include a little education section. So if you don't want anything, you say you don't trust me. I don't know why you're signing up for the newsletter, but say you don't trust me. Go and just sign up for the newsletter and use the education center. Now we're going to get to social requests. Anything that you send me, I am 100% replying to everybody. It might be delayed if you get caught up in spam or something happens like Spotify doesn't have it. But if you get the newsletter, you can just reply to that email and I get the email. That's how I got a bunch of social requests from yesterday. So let's take a look at some of the social requests. Let's see. Social request. Interested in what you think. This is Joe on email. Interested in what you think about GEX levels. I've been following Geeks of Finance and they seem pretty good at predicting stock movement. Though I will never buy Seeking Alpha, I'm a big fan of TrendSpider. Seems legit. I don't know, Joe. Seeking Alpha is awesome. Seeking Alpha. I told him I was gonna light him up for this. I don't know what GEX levels are. I don't think that's a stock. Let's just Google what GEX levels are. GEX levels. GEX levels, gamma exposure. I know nothing about it. I mean, do your research. I know nothing about it, Joe. I don't trade with this. I outline to you guys every day on this podcast how I trade. There is nothing hidden. There is no tool that I use that I hide. I use TrendSpider. I use Seeking Alpha. I use Alpha Picks to try and find picks. I also listen to Twitter, but there's nothing alpha, there's nothing that gamma stuff. I mean, again, if you find something that works for you, use it. I'm not saying you have to use my system of the 4-hour algorithm of trading the daily stock pick core portfolio, which is a proven portfolio. I'm not saying you have to do any of that. I'm not even saying that you have to sign up for Seeking Alpha. If you like FinViz, I'm planning on doing a video between the difference when I went from using FinViz, and I used FinViz for years successfully. Seeking Alpha, paying for the premium, took me to a new level of understanding the fundamentals. That gamma stuff that you're talking about, that's most likely momentum, and it's most likely price action. I don't do that. I include Ross's videos as a momentum trader because some people are interested in that. Do I do that? No. Do I know how to do it? Absolutely, I know how to do it. But you'll find, and Joe, I don't know how old you are. I don't know, exactly where you're at in your investment career or trading career. But I do know as I get older, and the other traders that I know as you get older, risk becomes more nerve-wracking. And so trading, I can't trade on a 1-minute chart these days. Could I trade on a 5-minute chart? Yeah. Do I feel comfortable doing it? No. I'd rather do a swing trade where I'm on a 4-hour candle and I can go enjoy my life. So when you're talking about GEX and Geeks of Finance, if they're good at predicting, everybody is a genius in a bull market. Where are we? And that's what you have to ask yourself. Everybody's a genius in a bull market. Let's take a look at the weekly chart of QQQ. Everybody's a genius in a bull market. I will say it again. I am a genius in a bull market. Following people and not understanding exactly what you're doing, that's the destruction of portfolios. So I heard it. I was on Spaces yesterday, and this douchebag said NNE. This is the nanonuclear. And he said, this is a great stock. I mean, honest to God, it's been a killer trading stock. Do I trust it that I'm going to buy? No. And the reason is the fundamentals. The fundamentals of this douchebag saying, my price target's 46. What tells you the freaking price target is 46? And he said it's a banger, guaranteed to make you money. People lobbed onto him. And I commend the Spaces community for saying, you're not a financial advisor. You can't tell people. There's a lot of people that follow your trades. A lot of people follow my trades. A lot of things, I haven't done right. But I will tell you, the majority of what I do makes me money. Find your own system. So I don't mean to, get into this, but GEX levels, I don't know anything about it. I'm not going to research it because it's not my thing. Charles from Facebook. Hey, Gary, this is a meme stock I got into when I was learning and trying different things. Right now, I don't mess with meme stocks at all because I've lost $1,000 in memes for my size portfolio. That's a lot of money. What do you recommend I do for stuff like this? Do I keep and hope it pops one day, or do I just sell? $60 is nothing. That's why I'm still holding it. It looks like a good company on paper. Do I just add to it, get my average down? It may fall even further, I feel. This is GWAV. GWAV. GWAV is Greenwave Technology Solutions. We can look at it. So, I mean, honest to God, GWAV, let's see. I don't know what you're seeing on paper that says it's a great one. Is it covered by the quant? It's not covered by the quant. We can go and look at the financials, earnings, dividend, growth. They're making 6% more year over year. It's not great. Profitability. Gross margin profit, 30%. Honest to God, I mean, if it's $60, that reverse 1 for 150, that means they don't have enough money. I mean, let's look in FinViz here, so that everybody can see it. Index, they don't have a PE, so they're not making money. They're losing $36 million. Shares outstanding, 12 million. They have cash on hand, 6 cents. They're going to dilute you again, Charles. If you want to keep your $60, sell it. Put the $60 into something like Bitcoin. I mean, that's the thing. So you have a stock like this and you've lost a bunch. The psychology is, oh my God, I need the dollar cost average. There is no way this stock is coming back when they're losing $36 million and they only have cash on hand of 6 cents per share. And that is less than 36. They're going to dilute you again. They're going to basically do a revert. As long as they're above $1, they can stay listed. That's the key. When they get under $1, they're going to get delisted. Now they need cash, so they're just going to do it. Now no insiders are selling. The market cap, again, it's $19 million. There's Waffle House locations that make more revenue than that. So, Charles, I don't know, Charlie, I don't know if that's something that you want to hang on to, but in my mind, I'd just probably take the $60 and throw it into Bitcoin, throw it into IBIT. I don't care what you buy IBIT at. It is probably guaranteed to go up higher than G-Wave over the next 10 years. Simple as that. If you don't mind losing the $60, that $60 could turn into $6,000 within, 2 years on Bitcoin. It could. I mean, if Bitcoin does something crazy. If the dollar is no longer the standard, world currency, Bitcoin all of a sudden craps up. I mean, Bitcoin could become huge. So I would say get out of it. But, again, your point, if you believe in it, I don't know what you believe in, but again, Damon from Instagram. Hey, Gary, back at it with another snoozer of a stock. But I think you might be intrigued. Marathon Petroleum Corporation, ticker MPC. I fell asleep on it for a few weeks. Didn't sell quick enough. It's down at its 200-day. Is it worth buying more? Love to hear your thoughts. MPC, and I told Damon this, MPC is one that was bought by Chevron. So I think that the transaction hasn't taken place yet. I don't know the details of the sale. But what I would do is I would go and I would look at what the sale is. Because if the sale is something like $200 per share, then you're golden. Just sit in there and wait because it's probably going to go through. And at some point, you'll get $200 a share. If for some reason MPC is tied to the energy prices, which Pioneer Natural was tied, you were going to get 2 shares of Exxon for every share of, so it was tied to Chevron price. I would tell you, this one, you fell asleep on. The second it was announced and this run-up continued up to 214, you fell asleep on it. Now, this is a good company. It's not a bad company whatsoever. We can see it. I don't think Seeking Alpha is going to tell us exactly what the price is. We can look at some of the analysts telling us what it is. But the valuations is C, the growth is D-, but that's all of energy. The buyback king of the energy sector continues to shine. That was from May 2nd. Rising fuel, 59 billion. I mean, short interest at 2.7. This is going, ranked 4 out of 22 on the energy sector, the oil and gas refining. I mean, I don't have MPC. I don't know what your purchase price is. Would I stay in this one? I'd probably, it's hard to sell when your RSI is at 27. It's hard to sell. But do you have some room on the downside? Absolutely. I mean, here's the weekly. Look, the 200 days at 102. Your shelf right here at 150. That's probably where your downside is, where your support level is. If you look at where it traded sideways, it's right here. Let's put a little line right through the middle of this, because if you're looking at where it's traded sideways, that's where it's at, and that's 150. So in my mind, that's probably where you're going. Now, you've used the 50-day as support a couple of times on this weekly. So your hope is that, yes, you're going to use 50-day as support. Do I think you're getting back to 200? I think it depends on that purchase. So honestly, Damon, I would go back and look at that purchase. Let's see. This is from Cade from an email. What do you think of ARM? Does it have any potential for long-term buy and hold? And by the way, I love this email from Cade because it includes so many details. It has a fairly large long-term deal with Apple through 2040, ensuring its chip technology will be found in iPhones and MacBooks. They are also involved with other large companies like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Alphabet, TSM, Intel, to name a few. They receive recurring royalties through their partnerships, representing 60% of the company's business. They announced $824 million in sales and $3.2 billion in revenue expected in the coming year. It may be possible that the demand for AI chips will lead to lots of companies designing their own AI processors, and they'll use ARM's designs for a lot of those projects. That's 100% true. However, the stock appears very crazily valued, approximately 40 times sales, 80 times forward adjusted earnings, 140 times expected GAAP earnings. If they continue in the right direction, maybe its value will be justified. They will announce earnings on July 31st. Stock is currently near its 52-week high, wondering if I should get in now before earnings or wait to see if it breaks through the resistance. Would love to hear your thoughts. Fundamentals, you've got it down pat. I will tell you, there was ironically a analyst came out yesterday on Seeking Alpha, and they said buy a complimentary investment to NVIDIA, and they think it's still got room to run. I don't think they name a price target, but this guy has 38 years of experience. He's probably around my age. But let's take a look at the chart real quick. ARM was an IPO. I didn't believe in the IPO, and then all of a sudden they announced earnings and it gapped up, and we've just been continuing there. It kind of came back to normal levels. It still hasn't touched this gap. I mean, it touched a little bit here at, back in April, but it hasn't touched it totally. Now, the algorithm had you in at 101. You're at 186. 186. It's only been out there for 9 months. 7 positions. The algorithm makes you 230% versus 227%. I would argue that that's long enough to know that this 4-hour algorithm probably works fairly well in this name. But like you said, it's overvalued. Now, could it go higher? Yes. The MACD could absolutely go to 15 here because it has before. It's at all-time highs. Your RSI, could it go higher? Absolutely. It was at 93 here. You're only at 83. So could it continue higher? Yes. What's the expectation on earnings? Let's kind of go over to Earnings Hub. Earningshub.com, because we're going to look at ARM, and I want to see what the expectations are, because if they're too high, in my mind, I think that's a little bit of a danger and a warning sign where you might want to take some profits. So they reported 36 cents. They're expected 34 cents. Reported 928 million. Their revenue is expected at 908. Again, when you have this run up, All of that downside is expected in the holdings. If we go over here and we go to ARM, let's type in ARM. I think it's a buy on the quant. Well, it's not covered yet. They don't cover it. So let's see from Wall Street. It's price target 121. I mean, that's hard to say to hold on to this through earnings when you've got a 121 price target. And again, I don't want to argue this because I think it's a really, really good stock. And I think your analysis of it is 100% correct. It's an IPO. It's 9 months old. So we don't know what's going to happen with earnings. My suggestion, Cade, would be if you're not in this, I wouldn't get in. I wouldn't get in before earnings. If you are in this, I would probably set some type of trailing stop loss. And I would probably put your absolute support at 170. And the reason I say 170 is no further reason than right here. You can see we popped up to 177. 177 was this candle's high, 177.31. And then you pulled back down. And then we got another band up. Your Bollinger Bands contracted here, and we got another move back up. So I would probably put my support at about 177, 170, somewhere in that neighborhood to protect your profits. And I would probably do that going into earnings. I don't know what those earnings, again, we've only had 3 earnings from this company. All have been fairly good, and they've been catalysts for the stock. You can see this was a huge catalyst up. Then it came back to reality. And then they realized, oh my God, this company's for real. And that 130, 140 price, we should go up there. And it was immediately attracted there. If I were in this one, I would be having significant stop losses. And again, like you said, it's the valuation. And at some point in time, valuation matters. And again, it hasn't mattered for Tesla. But we don't know. We don't have a long enough distance with ARM. Tesla was out, I think they IPO'd in like 2014. So the valuation never mattered in that name. Absolutely never mattered. This one, we've been out for 9 months. Don't have enough, knowledge into this one. And is the AI trade, old? I don't know. Again, I wouldn't get out of this one right now. You've got strength in this one, but I would have probably a trailing stop loss for say 5%. If it loses 5% in a day, I would probably get out because I think the downside probably would be further. But right now, those Bollinger Bands are opening up. I can't imagine that you're going to see this one, pull back by 5%. Scans, entries, big one, NVIDIA. We talked about it yesterday, and I think I even mentioned it yesterday, that we were going to get a buy in NVIDIA. It's up 2%. This one, we got out with, I think, a 48%, 49% gain. You're back in at 128. You're trading at 131. Do you want to buy? Absolutely. Just buy it. Look at your MACD. Your MACD's low. Your RSI is back down at 62. When we take a look at the weekly, it's still stretched. But the valuation in this one still makes sense. Again, based on the forward projections of this company. If for some reason this company doesn't beat and doesn't meet on their next earnings on, let's see, August 19th, you're going to see a 20% pullback. You'll see it come back down here to 100. Now, does that mean you don't buy at 130? No, because if they do beat and exceed, you're at a $160 price. So again, the valuation matters. It shouldn't scare you away, but they do have to meet and beat for that crazy. Now, Netflix, we talked about this one being a $700 stock. It is a $700 stock. It's bumping up against that $700 range. This one got to $697 and pulled back. It's a $700 stock. It gets you in here. Again, the original was $549. The MACD reset, again, my algorithm's based on the MACD. It gets you back in. Just another one. We can talk about some of the watch list, the daily stock pick watch list, which is included in TrendSpider, so you can scan against it. One of the scans, MHO, MI Homes, 119.16. Am I getting into this one? I'm probably waiting until I see that 50-day starts to turn around a little bit. This one has been a huge winner. We talked about back here how it's got this range. It has stayed in this range. Do you want to buy down here? I think that range probably supports buying down here. So take a look at that one. On. This was one that when it dipped under 30, you absolutely buy it. When it dipped, when it got over 30, you absolutely sell it. I think 40 now moves to it. The dollar amount is 40. It is an extremely expensive stock. Don't get me wrong. I tried these shoes. They don't make a wide enough shoe for me personally. They felt very comfortable though. I will tell you the bounce in these things are incredibly good. And people love these shoes. I talked to several other people who have better feet than I do. And it's a good stock. You're counting on the growth. Again, consumer's a little weak. Do you want to get into this one? MACD reset, super low. RSI coming off a oversold territory of 26 gets you in at 37 with confirmation. So it's kind of an interesting one. If you want to take a trade, I think for a longer term, it might turn out to be good. DAC, another shoe company. This is Hoka. And in fact, I'm getting back into Hoka shoes. The last one, it got you out with a 0.24% loss, 954. You're starting that 9 days starting to turn around. This one, the 9 day was still going negative. I wouldn't have gotten into that one. But if you got in at 978, I think you'll be fine. I think you're coming back up here to 1,000. Again, they have earnings coming up. Is the consumer weak? Look at how far that MACD has moved down. Look at how far the RSI has reset. This one may be getting ready to go for another run. Again, if we are going, I argue, I think it's a little bit stretched. Am I looking to take some of these names that are all at all-time highs? I don't know. Royal Caribbean. 156.11 got you in. I think we're setting up a nice little trading range here. Bollinger Bands are contracting. Again, this one's not a bad one to maybe get into. It's the valuation is not crazy. When you look at Royal Caribbean, this is an alpha pick, and I don't know if it's been long enough for me to say that, but it's an alpha pick, and it's a strong buy. And when you look at how long it's been a strong buy, it's been a strong buy since it was 86. You've doubled. You've doubled since it got to strong buy. It's at 161. When you go to Wall Street, what's the price target? The price target is 163. It's only 1% above. So do you want to buy it? Well, it makes some sense. Again, they're probably going to report, and it's going to be huge. I mean, you can't get on a freaking cruise. They're going to report here July 24th. We looked at Carnival. Carnival, they killed it. Royal Caribbean probably kills it, and that price target probably comes up. Fastenal, which reports this week, I think it's on Thursday or Friday. This one is on the watch list, and it gets a cross up. It's not on the watch list. It's actually part of the, I think, NASDAQ or the S&P. Moving negative. I would not buy into this one without knowing what the company does, what their financials are, and how it plays into their earnings. The last earnings were horrible because the stock just came down. That stock came down from 75 to 62. You're at $62. So you want to make sure that you know the valuation of this company, because 62 heading into the last earnings here back in January, you got your run up from 62 all the way to, 22% gain. The algorithm, again, it gets you into 37 positions over 24 months. It doesn't do as well as buy and hold. This is just one that I think has lost you too much on some of these downswings. It's been a lot of fake outs. So I don't know if you want to play that one, but it's an interesting one. Leveraged ETF, we had NVDL. We talked about how NVIDIA got you back in. NVDL is a 2 times levered ETF on NVIDIA. I will tell anybody that wants it, if you buy NVDL, you better buy NVDA as well. NVDA is the one that you hold. NVDL is the one that you trade. But it looks like, again, the MACD set up nicely. NVDL at 75, you're already trading 78. And again, their earnings are coming up, so I think it's a good one. Some of the sectors, XLI, industrials. This is a sector that had a good run in the beginning of the year. It's pulled back a little bit. I mean, we've been trading a little bit sideways. But for this year so far, it had a great run. And you can see, trading sideways. Is it getting ready to go up again? We had the death cross. The 50-day crossed the 200. That blue line crossed the 200. So I don't know if you want to get into it. We talked about Berkshire. We talked about XLB, which is material sector. This is where the hedge funds are all going into. We had the death cross. I don't know if it's good. I mean, I don't know the material sector, but I would say that, it's not bad. The MACD set up down here at 88. And the last time you got in at 88, you had a nice 2%, 3% run. Material sector. The algorithm on this one makes you 54%, so I would believe it. The 9 days moving positive. So maybe you got some upside in this one because the MACD set up. The hedge funds are getting into this one. Again, if you want any of the products here, 4-hour algorithm, 65-minute algorithm, any of the scanners, any of the watch list, anything, it's all in TrendSpider. Then you can get Seeking Alpha 20% off, free 7-day trial. If you like what you saw with the quant and how it rates stocks and you don't know fundamentals really well, I can tell you, it makes you better at fundamentals. And Alpha Picks, if you just want some stocks, we talked about how it got you out of, which one? BRX? BXC. Sorry, BXC is the one that got a 22% gain over 2 years. That's a great gain over 2 years. It didn't time it perfectly. You probably could have traded it much better. But again, you can use it as ideas. That's the third one here. And if you want Weeble's the best desktop. It's got a great desktop. So if you don't get TrendSpider, make sure you have some type of desktop software that trades stocks and can show you charts. Whether it's Active Trader Pro from Fidelity, Thinkorswim from TD Ameritrade, whether it's Webull has a great desktop software. I use it for the mobile app. I like Webull's mobile app and their actual charts in the mobile. Really good to trade on 5 minutes, to be honest with you. You put some moving averages in there, you can trade confirmation all day on Webull. So you could be out hiking and trade, ZAPP, one of those crazy ones. But I'll be back tomorrow. Remember, follow me on Twitter. I'm going to be on Spaces as well. I think tomorrow's 2 p.m. one, it's going to be the Savvy Trader guy, so it's a little bit more interesting. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. See you. Bye. Let's see. I just got out of my Intel feeling great. Yeah, I think Intel, again, I'm waiting for a little bit of movement down because it has moved up so much. But the red candle, let's see, we opened up at 35.02. We're trading at 34.23. I think the hype is out. I think that 200-day at 36 is probably going to be your top. So if you got out, Andy, kudos. I think that's probably the right play. I sold half my position. I don't think that we're getting back to 40, so I'll probably sell out the other half too. ARR. What the hell is ARR? Is this Purple Peppy again? Armor is this the body cam folks or something? Brandon, they can't get out of their own way. I mean, look at how many, algorithm buys here at 19. And we'll look at the week. I mean, that's an upper left, bottom right. ARR. Let's see. Not covered. 960 million. It's not even a $1 billion market cap. I wouldn't touch it. 14% dividend yield. I mean, that's not bad if you got that. Is it? Oh, it's a REIT. It's a REIT. Forget about it. No, forget about it. I don't like it. Can you take a look at General Dynamics? Yeah. And then I'm going to get off here. It's not 10 o'clock. Yeah, but any REIT, they're not reinvesting in the business. You're going to lose your capital. That's my thought on REITs. Libby, sign up for TrendSpider. If you're a subscriber, email me. Go to Linktree and go up here to the email and just email me a screenshot of your account information, and I'll send you the full tool. Libby. Here is just make sure to send me an email and say, hey, I want your algorithms. Can you send it to me? But sign up for TrendSpider and you can get it. The 5-minute, I will warn you, Libby. The 5-minute, I don't like the exit. I love the entry. But I don't like the exit. So I would argue with you, try and play with the exit a little bit with some other stuff. But I love the entry. I think the entry, if you're sitting there watching the candles, the entry sets you up almost perfectly. General Dynamics. Bollinger Bands pretty much told you on this one. you had some confirmation. Once you lost confirmation, and the algorithm got you out once the confirmation was really lost. Short term, I would say that 50 days got to cross under the 200-day. Let's see, weekly. It's a little bit extended here. So I would say that probably in my mind, from a volume perspective and everything, that 260 probably provides a pretty good support level if we look at that. If I go back to the 4-hour and we look at that 260 line, that's a big way to go, but I don't think it's crazy, because I do think that it ran up quite a bit. Let's look at some of the valuations on this. Valuations D. It's a buy in the quant. 22 PE. PEG ratio is a little bit high on the trailing 12 months. A little bit. That's a lot. The growth is where you really want to look. 8%. They're getting killed on EBITDA growth. So earnings before interest and depreciation. It's the EBITDA growth. Why you can't manipulate numbers? Free cash flow year over year down 62%. That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. So they got some write-downs or something going on here. Short interest isn't high. I'd rather see that 52-week range in the middle there rather than the high. But if you want to, again, if you look at the chart, 1 year you're up 30%, 5 years. Oh, come on, Seeking Alpha. Wah. This is my computer. 5 years you're up to 55%. 10 years you're up 140%. It's bottom left, upper right. So I don't, am I trading this one? No. And here's the thing about General Dynamics Star. They're in the war category. And I try not to invest in the war category alone. And that's all General Dynamics is for me. And so I've never been interested in this company. Government contractors, aerospace and defense. I don't view defense as defense. I view it as offense. So I just don't want to invest in it. But it's more a moral issue than me. I would say it's not bad. But again, I think it's extended. AMSC. Roblox. Weed's a dead trade. And I say that without, I should say dead investment. New York recently just busted a huge marijuana growth plant. And they basically said they were doing it for tax purposes. And until that actually comes to fruition across the country, weed's dead trade. Because think about it. And I'm a participant. Whenever I go to legal places, I get edibles from a dispensary. But the taxes are 25 to 30%. And it's probably 50 to 60% higher than the street stuff. Where am I buying? Again, if you're at home, you ain't going to say you live in Colorado. I know people who live in Colorado. They ain't going to the dispensary to buy. It's the tourists. So where are you making money? You're making money in the illegal trade. But can you invest in the legal trade? No. I just, again, if you want to invest in weed, go and invest in weed, but it's been a dead one. You're welcome. Libby, you're probably signed up under me. Just email me, and I'll email you back an updated version of the welcome letter, which has everything. I think I've probably added stuff since you signed up if you're under me, under my program. But email me because I can, I have been talking to TrendSpider about other stuff. And so it's good to know who's under my program and who's not. They don't tell me per se. So TrendSpider protects all of our privacy. I mean, even mine. They can't see my 4-hour algorithm. They can't see any of the stuff that I do. They protect privacy. And so as an affiliate, I get paid when you guys use my link. But that link has to sync up. And it hasn't synced up a couple of times more than a couple over the past couple of months. So I've missed out on a couple $1,000 of commission. It's not, I'm not happy about it, but hey, I'm happy to make anything. Let's see. But just send me an email. Let's do an index check on my portfolio. But Libby, I will tell you that 5-minute. Be very, very careful with that 5-minute. It only backtests, I think, 2 days or something. I think I just changed it, but again, the entrance I like, the exit I don't like at all. In fact, I'm going to buy more NVIDIA and SMCI, I think. Okay. I am out of here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to contact me. Hopefully, Spotify is a little better today. I'm up, just so you know, 0.4% in my portfolio, and the NASDAQ is up 0.47. So I'm keeping up. Keeping up. Apple's bringing me down. Apple is down up 0.15. So my guess is that the rest of my portfolio is outperforming the rest of the market. But who knows? I haven't done that. And I said when Costco ups their membership price, it's going to be a $900 stock. This fucker just keeps going. God. It's a great play. And Eli Lilly was under 900 in the last couple of days. That was a buy, even though you got 735 and it's just continued. This one's going to go for another run here. Meta was under 500 for a while. That was a buy. You still have a chance to buy Netflix under 700. NVIDIA, I think, is going to 160 once their earnings pop out. SMCI, I like to go to 1200. And that's just on price action. I mean, that's just, 100% on price action. I mean, I also own Dell. I own a good position in Dell. That is up 1.49%. And we're going to fill that gap up to 167 in Dell. ASMC. Let me look. ASMC, I don't even see a chart on it. I don't even see a chart and TrendSpider on it. ASMC. Sorry. ASMC. There we go. Oh, I don't see it. ASMC. My dyslexia. I don't see it at all. There is no ASMC. AMSC, maybe? American Semiconductor, AMSC. Let's see. Market cap's $1 billion, so it's over the $1 billion mark. Short interest 5%, not horrible. Quant says it's a strong buy. Valuation is they're not making money. They don't have a peg. Growth, their revenue's 37% year over year. Profitability, 24% margin. Why would I want to? I don't know enough about the story of the company to say it's great. This one was just Saturday. Let's see. This dude has price of publications. He's up 8%. Let's see where Wall Street says. There's probably one analyst that covers it. It's a strong buy. 3. They're saying 27.67. Let's see. It's not since 2022. So take that with a grain of salt that it's $27. They're losing $11 million. They have enough cash, so you're not going to get diluted. You got some insider selling, fairly large amount for a market cap like this. I mean, that's up to the story. I don't know what they do. I mean, from a revision standpoint, there's 3 up, none down, but it's only 3. And so let's see who it says their peers are. I don't know. I mean, that's a hard one to say. The PE full year 270. I mean, it's an expensive stock. Revenue goes 37%. That's higher than every other one. Forward is expected 19%. So they're expected to slow down. And if you're trading at $28, your 52-week high is $29.14. So, Brandon, to be honest with you, I would probably AMSC. Let's see. I would probably let's see how the 4-hour algorithm performs. 54% before buying and holding 450. I would probably trade, honest to God, buy at that 25. I'd probably sell it. I mean, this one seemed to work at 86%. And your MACD is low enough. Your RSI is a little bit high. I don't know that I'd keep it long term. But again, I'm 53, going on 54. At 20, I'm probably YOLOing this fucker. But I don't know, again, I don't know the story of the stock. You're seeing when you go long-term and you go weekly and you see this run up in 2021, the high's 30. The high's $30. So in my mind, you've got, you probably have a resistance at 30. But the valuation was crazy in 2021 to the point where you came down at $2. Now you got a golden cross here. The last time the golden cross happened, you had a nice move. What I would probably do is I would probably take some profits. If it hits like today's candle, this week's candle, it got up to 29.10. On the 4-hour, it looks like it's got some strength. So I'd probably look at the 4-hour and I would put in, that RSI is a little high. I would probably put in a stop loss at about $28, to be honest with you, because between 28 and 26, there's not a lot of volume right there. I mean, it doesn't look like a bunch of people added. So I think you've got a long way down from 28 to 26. And at a 20-something dollar stock, that's a big move. So I'd probably protect your profits and put some type of loss in there at $28. And if it doesn't hit that's where I would put my stop, because you can always buy it again. Don't be afraid to buy it again if you believe in the story. But I would say from a weekly perspective, I mean, we're still at 7%, 5% interest rates. We're not, we're still restrictive, and they're not making money. So the story has gotten back up. I think it's just a semiconductor company, superconductor company. I don't know what they do, but that would be my take. I think you're if you break 28, I think you're going to 26. But I think your upside is 30. So at $28, what's that? I mean, $2. I don't care how many shares you have, times that by $2. And how much is that? Because if it's like, $1,000, $2,000, take your profits. That would be my take on it. It's not worth my risk of going down to 26 for $1,000. I'll just take the profits and go. But that's short-term money too, so you got to figure in taxes. If you've been in it since August, does it make sense to hold until this August? All that factors in, Brandon. So, in my head, that's exactly what I'm going through. A lot of that kind of stuff. Just so you know. There's a lot that goes into that stuff. And that's why I try not to take a trade like that. I mean, that's just a great trade, by the way. If you got in last August, you got in, probably around $9, so you've doubled your money. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I will tell you, you're up 1,000%. My entire Apple position in my brokerage account since 2007, total gain percentage, 1,620, and you did it in 8 months. I mean, that's reinvesting dividends, so obviously there's some dollar cost averaging down on that one, but the total position in my brokerage account, 1,600%, you just did it in a crazy number. So be happy. Don't try and nickel and dime. Get out of it. If it breaks 30 and goes to all-time highs, you can always rebuy it. I'd just take the profit and be done. That's what I would do. I mean, that volume shelf scares the fuck out of me. I would just say, you know what? I'm going to be done. I mean, let's look at where people are buying. We just bring this up. They are buying up here. But again, that shelf is at 26. It looks like the volume above 26, if you just pull that up to where we started this current rally, the shelf is at 26. And then there's another shelf at 27. But there's no huge shelf at 28. So I'd say your volume kind of limits you. Okay, I'm out. See you guys.